Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. It's Ramon from Bold Like a Leopard. And I think that many of us, normally this day of the year, we're excited for the Super Bowl. And yes, it's pretty sad, pathetic. I'm wearing the shirt for a team that's not in the Super Bowl. Well, this happens to be from Super Bowl 27 when it was the first Super Bowl I ever watched, and it got me into the game. Of course, the team I've followed since then, the Dallas Cowboys, won that Super Bowl. It was a magical year for me. I was probably about 7 years old. I still remember the lady that asked me who I wanted to win the game, the Bills or the Cowboys. I didn't know what a bill is. Bills are things that you paid. So I said, well, of course, Cowboys are better than Bills. And that's a pretty corny story. But setting us up for today's Super Bowl, it's a little hard to think of the game above this politicization of it that has ruined a lot of our sports. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things to be mad about with the NFL. And there's a lot of people that are now boycotting or saying that they're going to boycott either the entire game or the commercials in the halftime show, or just the halftime show. I have a lot of friends that are just planning other things to do, and not necessarily because of the political issues with the game that they said that there's going to be a Lady Gaga statement during her halftime show. But people have just figured out that they don't need this professional league to be happy anymore. And then on the other hand, you have a bunch of other people that are saying, well, why are you being so intolerant? Why can't you just enjoy the halftime show with Lady Gaga? Well, I have a response to that. Look, I'm not a big fan of Lady Gaga. In fact, I don't like most of her music. She has a couple of pretty, um, very, very talented songs that I've seen. Judas was a very well made song, even though it's actually very abrasive towards Catholics. So are we having this outcry over how she insults Catholics? No, nobody's ever heard a peep out of that, out of the progressive community that's so quick to condemn people for so-called religious intolerance for another community. And I'd like to say this too to Lady Gaga. What's so wrong about people boycotting you? You're actually being a booster for one of the least progressive organizations in sports. The NFL, if you think about it, is becoming more globalist. They're ignoring the fans. They've done so many things that are just detrimental to society lately, from the Ray Rice scandal to Greg Hardy, who even played for my team. And you didn't see fit to say anything about that yet, up until, and you're taking the money from them. I mean, who's to say that we are actually watching somebody who's making a statement when you're being paid by the league to do that, unless for some reason you're donating that money. So these are my feelings about the Lady Gaga boycott that's going to go down later today. Um, Boycotting this halftime show is a boycott against a league that allows athletes to disrespect our flag and our anthem, but won't allow teams to put patches on that show support, for example, to the police force, or to even to the players' mothers, as in the case of DeAngelo Williams, whose mother passed away from breast cancer. Boycotting Lady Gaga rejects a league that allows teams to relocate and defraud their cities of tons of money. That's happened twice in the past year. Two teams, San Diego and St. Louis, relocated to Los Angeles, all looking for bigger paydays. Where does the greed end? And the Oakland Raiders, they might be on the way soon to Las Vegas or San Antonio or another city. Where does the greed end? Where does the greed end, Lady Gaga? You've been making these millions and millions of dollars, and you pal around with the great Hollywood glitterati, the celebrities and everything, but now you're going to be representing this game at halftime? No, when you look at this past year's World Series, It was one of the best World Series of all time. Nobody remembers any of the acts. Nobody talks about those. Look at last year's NBA Finals. It was elevated by what it was supposed to be, the great play of the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and one of the best series ever. And why can't the Super Bowl be like that? Why can't the Super Bowl be just about the game itself anymore? Instead, you have these just these whores putting together halftime shows, putting together commercials and over glorifying the game. This is a game that was once an expression of the greatest accomplishments of every team that made it there. And instead now it's becoming a place where corporate America can come and make a statement to play to a certain group of people, like Budweiser does this year and like Amazon does during many big game commercials and everything. Those are still corporations, and you're projecting corporate propaganda, Lady Gaga, and we're not going to buy into it. And our rejection of you is a rejection of them. And if you had any values, you'd be rejecting them along with us. So everybody, enjoy the game if you're watching it. If you're not watching it, I hope you're enjoying whatever else you're doing besides it. And have a great week. This is Ramon with Bold Like a Leopard, and we'll see you around the bend.